Hello, I'm Reverend Dr. Thompson, Akwo, Ntuba, and I've preached the gospel around the world in many continents and with many denominations. I have preached with the PCC, the Presbyterian Church. I've preached with the charismatic churches. As Deputy Bishop of the Gospel Ministers Fellowship and Pioneer Prelate of the Gospel Ministers Association, I've had the opportunity of ministering to ministers one by one in council meetings, in crusades, in different countries, in different continents. And many of the times, I like to talk to ministers from the theological perspective. And so I make this distinction, the difference between biblical theology, the difference between biblical theology and systematic theology. They are similar in certain respects, but they are not the same. One of the differences between biblical theology and systematic theology is the emphasis on the topical nature of the study and conclusions in systematic theology. But biblical theology actually looks at the whole Bible as a whole and is more of a lot of what Old and New Testament theologians talk about, the expositional form of studies, and looking at the Bible from the bibliology perspective. That is to say that, like somebody says that I am a student of the Bible, I'm studying the Bible. To study the Bible, there are different instruments that we use in Bible studies. And most of the times we don't go to study the Bible topically. But in systematic theology, there is the emphasis on studying the Bible topically, so that when we have a topic and we look at the principle of hermeneutics and the principle of mention, so we talk about first mention, progressive mention, and terminal mention, there is always the place where a principle is first mentioned in the Bible. But its contextual meaning may shift a little bit when you move from that first mention and you progressively see it applied by different authors. What Peter may say, if you are a student of New Testament theology, with the emphasis of the books of the New Testament, Paul may first introduce a concept or biblical principle in an epistle that he wrote to some church. A good example, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. Then we have Ephesians and all of those that he wrote. Now, the principles, like the principle of gift, we see in 1 Corinthians 12, there are three groups of gifts which are more related to the Holy Spirit. We come to Romans 12, we see giftings, right? But now we begin to notice that there are some differences in those giftings. And then if we go to Ephesians 4, we see the Bible talks about Jesus ascending into heaven and giving gifts unto men, or to the body. And if we want to bring out a systematic theology on giftings, now you see that if we don't actually systematically study